Every evening, Ethan passed an ancient graveyard on his way home. The cemetery was a place most avoided after dark. Its gnarled trees clawed at the sky, and its crumbling headstones leaned like broken teeth in the soil. But Ethan found it oddly serene, the fading light casting long shadows that danced eerily across the graves. One evening, as dusk bled into night, he noticed her, a figure standing near the iron gates. She was impossibly still, her silhouette framed by the dying sun. Her black hair cascaded down her back, and her white dress glowed faintly against the gloom. Something about her felt wrong. "Are you lost?" Ethan called out, his voice trembling despite himself. She turned slowly, revealing a face so beautiful it made his chest ache, but her eyes were hollow, bottomless pits that seemed to swallow the light around them. "No," she whispered, her voice soft, yet chilling like wind through dead leaves. "I'm waiting." "For what?" he asked, stepping closer. "For someone who remembers me," she replied cryptically, before vanishing into the graveyard without a sound. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. Her image haunted him, the curve of her smile, the emptiness in her gaze. The next evening he returned, half expecting her not to be there, but she was, standing just inside the gates, as if she'd been expecting him. They began meeting every night, sitting together on a weathered stone bench near the entrance. Her name was Lila, she said, though she offered little else about herself. She spoke softly, her words laced with melancholy, yet there was a strange warmth to her presence that drew Ethan in. He fell deeply in love, ignoring the warning signs, her icy touch, the way her reflection shimmered unnaturally, how the air grew colder whenever she smiled. One evening, Ethan finally confronted her. "Lila, why do you stay here? What are you waiting for?" Her expression shifted, sadness twisting into something darker. "Ethan," she murmured, leaning closer, "you deserve the truth. I'm not alive." His blood ran cold. "What do you mean?" "I died here," she confessed, her voice trembling. 100 years ago. My body lies beneath one of these stones. I've been trapped here, unseen and forgotten, until you came along." "But how can you be here now?" he stammered, backing away. "You gave me life," she said, her lips curling into a sinister smile. "Your attention, your love, it brought me back, but my existence is fragile. To truly leave this place, I need more." "What do you need?" he asked, dread pooling in his stomach. "Your life," she whispered, her voice dropping to a guttural growl. "Only then will we be together forever." "No!" Ethan shouted, stumbling backward. "That's insane." Her face contorted in rage, her once beautiful features morphing into something monstrous. Hollow eyes burning with fury, jagged teeth bared in a feral grin. "You promised!" she shrieked, lunging toward him. The ground beneath Ethan crumbled, swallowing him whole. Dirt poured over him, suffocating and heavy, pinning him in place. Above him, Lila peered down, her monstrous visage illuminated by the pale moonlight. Her laughter echoed unnaturally, reverberating in his skull. "Thank you, my love," she crooned, her voice dripping with malice. "Now we'll never be apart." As the earth filled his mouth and lungs, Ethan realized the horrifying truth. Lila hadn't been waiting for someone to remember her. She had been hunting for someone to die. By morning, the graveyard looked unchanged. Birds chirped, dew glistened on the grass, and the tombstones stood silent. Near the entrance, a fresh grave had been dug, marked by a new headstone bearing a single name, Ethan. Beneath it, etched in jagged letters, was an inscription, "Forever mine."